देश है। विश्व में हमने युवाओं की आईटी एनर्जी के माध्यम से अपना एक रुतबा खड़ा किया है और भारत इसके बात के लिए गर्व कर सकता है। दुनिया में हम आंख में आंख मिला करके बात कर सकते हैं। और ये मेरा साथ मैं हमेशा कहता आया हूं, आईटी प्लस आईटी इज इक्वल टू आईटी। इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लस इंडियन टैलेंट इज इक्वल टू इंडिया टुमारो।
Good evening and namaskar, and a very warm welcome to the second edition of ILET's National Water Innovation Summit 2021. The second edition of Water and Sanitation Innovation Summit is being organized in host partnership with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. On behalf of ILET's Technomedia, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, National Mission for Clean Ganga Namami Gange, and Japan-India Cooperation Agency JICA, I welcome you all to this panel discussion on addressing challenges of the future. We had a day-long deliberation today since 9:30 a.m. onwards, wherein we are joined by eminent speakers from the policy-making domain and as well as from the international experts. There were speakers from international agencies, from embassies, from Government of India, from state governments, and the chief guest of the session was the Honorable Union Minister of State, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Shri Ratan Lal Kataria ji. In the morning, the keynote address was given by the Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga, Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Mishra. So this last session of the session today, addressing challenges of the future, we are joined by very eminent speakers from different walks of the policy-making domain. We have a very senior IAS officer in front of us, Mr. Rajiv Yadav. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rajiv Yadav, who is chairman of Brahmaputra Board and who comes with a vast experience of policy making in different departments of not only Government of India, but states also. Then please join me in welcoming Mr. Rishi Raj, the Joint Magistrate, Manpuri, Uttar Pradesh. Rishi Raj is a young IAS officer of 2018 batch and is presently posted as Joint Magistrate, Manpuri, UP. Then we are joined by Mr. Pratham Agarwal. Pratham Agarwal is a divisional engineer, Sholapur, Ministry of Railway, Government of India. And finally, we have an international guest amongst us. He is from the Embassy of Afghanistan Economic Department, Mr. Abdul F. Zelani. So Mr. Abdul F. Zelani will bring in international perspective on how do we address the challenges of the future as far as the utilization and sustainable conservation of water is concerned. So we have this 1 hour, 15 minutes panel discussion. The panel will be moderated by Mr. Pratham Agarwal from the Ministry of Railways. And without taking much of time, I'll hand over the podium to Mr. Pratham Agarwal.
First of all, a very good evening to all esteemed panelists. Without further delay, let us start the conversation. And the topic of conversation which I have been circulated is addressing challenges of the future and the legal framework. So with that in mind, I would sir, just a minute. I would request Yadav sir to please share some ideas on what challenges we are facing right now.
good afternoon.
So you're not audible.
Thank you, Pratham, and a very good afternoon to all the fellow panelists. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So it is indeed a pleasure to be with some young minds this afternoon, and uh, somebody in the neighborhood from Afghanistan, and especially somebody who is looking after the economic aspect in the embassy of Afghanistan. The issue of today's topic, what we want to talk about, has two aspects. While in most of the parts of India, we have a problem of shortage of water, and we
So
want
sorry
to,
for the interruption. Sorry
yeah,
for the interruption, sir, but your voice is still very low, sir. Can you please be a bit more loud, sir, so that we can hear you?
okay. Uh, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Is it better?
yes, sir. This is slightly
Okay,
better, sir. Yes, please go ahead.
okay, fine. So we have, while in most of the, in our country, we have the problem of properly allocating the water resources and properly managing them and conserving them. But there are certain parts of the country where we have problem of plenty also, and especially the northeastern region of our country and some regions of Western Ghat, where the rainfall is very good, and where there is problem of plenty, not a shortage. So while we should focus on problem of water management in terms of generally the shortage, but we should not forget the aspect of plenty also and how to live with in areas where the water resources are either in plenty or they are sufficient. So we can, in fact, it will be a good policy matrix to kind of identify areas and have slightly different policies for different geographical areas rather than having a catch-all policy for the entire geographical area of the Indian Union. And I would like to, in this, one key stakeholder is population. While we talk about technology generally, and we talk about new methods of management, and we talk about economics of water management, we talk about even water user committees, pricing, and other things. But we forget that the biggest stakeholders are the citizens and the users and the people who live in any basin area, and how they are managing the water resources and how they behave actually. Their behavior is very important because they make choices every day. And if those choices are not right, and if those choices are guided by some other factors, then despite technology, despite economics, despite engineering, we don't achieve the results. And this is very, very apparent in a river basin like Brahmaputra, where it is a problem of plenty. There is a lot of water. But suddenly we find an attitude among the population which sees river as an adversary, not as a friend. While the older generation, if we go back 2 generations back, and the grandfather of the same people who now are adult citizens, their grandfathers, they always viewed the river as a not adversary, something which was there and which
Yadav, sir, we are unable to hear you because there is some streaming problem. Uh, Sir, I would request you, you can please shut down your video. I think then we would have better connectivity. Maybe your bandwidth is consumed by the video much more.
okay. I will. Okay, let me see.
So, sir has raised a very interesting point of shortage versus plenty. And in that regard, sir has very rightly said that there are some places where we find a lot of water and that we find a lot of mismanagement is there. And in that regard, I would like Mr. Jilani to please throw in some international ideas into how do we tackle this problem, and is there any model where we have come across these problems, and is there a solution to it?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, I'm truly happy to be with you today and would like to thank Ministry of Jal Shakti for initiating and organizing such an important summit under the name of Second National Water Sanitation Innovation Summit. In this program, our ambassador was the key speaker. Unfortunately, as you know, our ambassador just a few days arrived in New Delhi, and he was very busy. I'm coming to the topic. I'm not expert on this subject. It is a technical question, and I love to talk. I would like to discuss about water management in Afghanistan, and also how cooperate India with Afghanistan on water management. If you have time, I will go in that topic. I have here something like government management of water resource, position of water management in the countries, launching program, government initiative and activities, construction of dams. It is very important for us because in half a decade we have very good management on Afghanistan water, and thanks from India also, and they cooperate on this. And also, if there will be time, I will talk on concluding on and remarks on this subject. Now, I don't know how much we have time. If you have time, I will go on this. If you don't, if it's not possible for about the time, I want to hear from you.
No, Mr. Jilani, please go ahead. We would like to hear something, some kind of case study, somewhere we can learn about the best management, water management practices.
Sure,
if you can elaborate on that.
Sure. At first, again, thanks speakers and dear panelists. Water issues play a crucial role in Central and South Asia, both in the quantity of water available and its quality. Access to clean drinking water is a major top largely unmet objective. While much of the region of experiencing water storage, poor water management lies at the heart of many problems. Climate change in the form of glacier melt, drought, rising temperatures, and change to the monsoon cycle will increasingly make worse water scarcity. We are living in a dynamic world where the exciting challenges become more complex and new challenges are emerging. Afghanistan is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change due to its low adaptive capacity. Since 1960, the mean annual temperature in Afghanistan has increased 0.6 centigrade, and a consistent rise in the temperature and decreases in precipitation is projected in the future. Dear panelists and speaker, Afghanistan main part of its economy is relied on agricultural products and goods. Therefore, for better functioning of agricultural sector, the government of Afghanistan with its regional partners, especially especially Republic of India, working on water management in the country closely. The government of Afghanistan, realizing the importance of this matter, strives effectively and usefully manage the surface and groundwater of the country for the purpose of agricultural growth, strengthening of industries, and hydroelectric power generation. The government of Afghanistan is taking significant steps toward managing water resource and turning this vital wealth into capital in both areas of formulating policies and regulations, as well as technical and operational studies. In this regard, the government of Afghanistan carried out significant initiative in the area of managing water resource by providing safe and sufficient drinking and agricultural water in village and rural areas of country. And the government of Afghanistan sees issues of water as being fundamental wealth of the country and its place and the management of groundwater resources and the control of the surface water of the country, and the urgent and prioritized position of the operational strategy and outlines. Because management and control of countries' waters can be utilized for achieving domestic, sustainable, and balanced development, and educate use of water by Commonwealth countries. I am not sure. I'm not getting time for to other panels.
No, it's
If it's
okay.
possible,
Yeah, Mr. Jilani, it was very, very interesting to know, and I can assure you that the one thing I could understand was that the fundamental root of problem is I feel the policies have been created, but at the heart of it, they are not being implemented, and that is where I believe even our India is also lacking in that respect. And I would request now Rishi to please let us know his take on what are the challenges we are facing currently and the way out.
good.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rishi from Manpuri, from the state of Uttar Pradesh, India, and I'm here from my district magistrate. We have a river called Ishan Nadi, or the Ishan River, that flows right across the Manpuri headquarters. The river has been a very symbolic entity for the whole of Manpuri, because on the east side of the river, there is an old town of Manpuri, of the then ruler of Manpuri. And when we cross the river, the British had their own collectorate and all establishment on the right side of the river.
Okay.
And it was said the British made their systems and their establishment right across the river, because the river used to flow so heavily that none could cross that river in all the 24 across 12 months of the year. So that was an estimate of the water level in that river. That river is still a rain-fed river, and it starts from a nearby district known as Etah, from a small pond, and flows right across into Ganga near Kannauj. The problem in rejuvenating with this river was, being a rain-fed river, we never had a perennial source of water to rejuvenate this river. That catchment area in Etah, the source of that river body, has dried up. We had minimal coordination with the neighboring district, as we have, because the same amount of passion that we have in our own district may not be found in the other district or the other neighboring countries if we go into the international perspective. So we tried to get that water from a nearby canal. We have a lower Ganga canal, and we made the water recharge structures like check dams, reservoirs, and we try to restore it to past 30 years of what people assume that 30 years before this river had this much height, this much left. People used to bathe in it before going into the nearby temples. Right now, the situation is because this Rabi season has started, the water from that lower Ganga canal has to be diverted towards the farm fields, and we are feeling shortage of water to increase the natural flow of the river. And as the natural flow of the river has been reduced, we are the cleaning capacity of the river itself has like shot down. So now the river looks like a city drain. Now the river looks like a city drain. So my point that I'm trying to make across is we have an issue of plenty as being brought up by Rajiv sir. At the same time, we have an issue of scarcity, especially of a rain-fed river, who does not has a perennial source or is heavily dependent upon the 3 months of monsoon which we have from June to July. So my point is we have to bring a river to some place, some water body to recharge that river. Same thing we have done in Gujarat in Sabarmati. Same thing we are doing it with Gomti in Lucknow, and what we did with Ishan in Manpuri. So the problem is during the non-crop seasons, we have plenty of water in our river because we divert it from some source. We have to take it from some or the other plenty source. But what about the seasons when we have to be dependent upon the natural catchment area of the river and not on the canal that we already have? That is a point which I would like to put across the panel, and would love to have their own feedback and suggestions. Thank you.
Great. That is, Rishi, that is something I have totally understood. And I believe this is something in India, practically we find water bodies disappearing. We find that perennial rivers are transforming into seasonal rivers. And the focus of water conservation, I feel, has now just started. I represent the Ministry of Railways, and I have been working with the railways for the past 6 years now. And it is very interesting, actually. Our railways is you can say, a sleeping giant in this kind of things. We have oriented our works towards only solving the problems which we face immediately. We don't have a legal framework where we think on the large scale. We think usually at the point we are dealing with. Like, suppose there is a problem of a train which arrives at the station and there is no water available at the platforms. Then we go into the mode of supplying tankers and immediately satisfying the need and resolving that issue. We don't go into the depths and the nitty-gritties of solving that problem from the source. And that is exactly, I feel, in mostly all the government departments, we are going that way. And that has to be addressed. And one interesting point I would like to bring, and I would like to say for railways, that in railways, the railway employees are given housing. We are provided houses the moment we get our jobs, right from the Group A staff to the Group D staff. Everybody gets a house. So the problem of water becomes a problem of the administration and not the problem of the person himself. The person doesn't tackle the problem. They raise the problem to the department, and the department, being a giant, doesn't really address that problem at the source. At that moment, it just solves by whatever means it has, and then it goes into the sleeping mode. So with that in mind, I feel that the legal framework needs to be strengthened, and not just strengthened on paper, but also at the execution level. And I would like now the panelists to have a discussion on the legal framework if we have. So I would like Yadav sir to please throw some light on what are the legal frameworks we have currently with the water.
Okay. Pratham,
Sir.
I would take from where Rishi Raj left. Okay. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Yes,
I
sir.
have switched off my video so that my bandwidth is available for my audio. Okay.
Right. It is
So-
perfect, sir.
Yeah, good. So Rishi Raj is in an area where I spent my childhood. One of my maternal grandfather used to live in that area, Etah district and Manpuri district. Okay. And
Oh,
therefore, as a child, I have visited that area frequently. And some relatives were also in Manpuri. So it has been a sad story as we have seen there. Yeah, I remember in 1960s, when I went there after a gap of about 5, 6 years, and I was that time in secondary school, I was suddenly surprised to see all over the agriculture fields, electric poles sprouting up like, crop. And these electric poles were as a result of the policy of the state government to provide free connection to tube wells to draw the groundwater and
right.
irrigate the fields. So everybody was allowed to get 4 or 5 poles worth of electricity line free, and then he could make a bore well, which was primed by an electric motor, and that resulted in substantial out offtake of the groundwater and lowering of the groundwater. And as we now know, in integrated water management, as more and more studies are being done, water cycle is one, whether it is groundwater, whether it is surface water. Okay, they are both interconnected. So if you draw out too much of groundwater, you are affecting even surface water. Okay, it's not that they are independent. So this kind of holistic thing has to be understood. And a legal framework can only be in the background so that people do not go beyond a certain limit. But if we want things to improve, it has to be a people's movement. And for that, we have to incentivize the stakeholders or the people. Say, among panchayats, we can have a healthy competition. Which panchayat is going to do maximum water conservation? So they will be awarded or given more resources to do other rural development projects. So it can all be linked. So then it's more incentivized. And legal framework will be just in the background. You see, it's a behavior related issue. You can't influence the choices of people, as economics tells us, by simply legal framework. It has to be a game of incentives backed by legal framework. So legal framework remains in the background. If somebody over exploits something and completely violates it, then he's afraid that he will be punished. So it's in the background. But you can't rely on a legal framework to recharge your water bodies. It has to be a people's movement, and it has to be governed and incentivized by the government through various programs, in which we link the resources to panchayats, to local bodies through better water management practices. And we can rank them, we can grade them, we can have healthy competition among them, and we can involve NGOs in a big way. We can encourage farmers' bodies. Everybody, all stakeholders can be involved, because unless that happens, and as Pratham said that among the railway quarters and all, everybody keeps the tap open because they think that water is being supplied by the authorities. So how I am worried. and,
Yes,
and it's not charged also individually. So, the
yes,
consumption is more. So things like
yes,
that have to be, again put in order. So basically, these are all behavioral issues. And behavior is molded when the people are young. So it has to be tackled at the school level, actually. We have to create the awareness in the schools. So education system also has to be involved. The school system has to be involved. So accordingly, like you have other chapters in your classes, so you should have a chapter on water conservation also. So that from the very childhood, you know the importance of water conservation. So
True.
it's like, it's part of your life. And if we see the biological aspect, a human being can survive without food for a week or so, but not without water for more than 48 hours or 72 hours. Okay.
yes, sir.
So
Yes, yes,
water
yes,
is
sir.
more important for survival. This has to be drilled into everybody's mind. And as I said that of late in India, we have always this feeling that if we have legal framework, we can tackle a thing. But believe me, I have with me about 38 years of administrative experience. I can assure you that all laws on the earth cannot force a person to behave unless other factors are also there. Okay. So you
Yes,
will
sir.
have prisons overflowing with people who have done something wrong on waterfront, and you will not know where to keep them because prisons are already full. So legal
Yes.
framework is only up to a certain limit you can use it. Beyond that, you have to involve citizens in everything for making success. Like we have seen recently that in case of Swachhata Abhiyan and in case of clean drinking water and making India ODI free, we involve people and we achieve great success. So
Yes.
state after state became ODI free, because people understood that cleaning use of toilets, and even a movie was made on toilet. So all
Yes.
these
Yes.
things, so influencing people's behavior through other positive means, not by
Mhm.
danda alone is the key. Danda is
Yes.
in the background so that if somebody really violates, then he is afraid of the danda. But
Mhm.
actually, we have to involve the stakeholders fully and right from the childhood. That is the key.
Yes. Well said, sir. Madam, I couldn't have put it better myself. And this is something I think everybody in the panel would agree that Danda policy doesn't work. It is incentivizing the water conservation and grooming right, drilling it right at the childhood level, which will really help India achieve what do you say, the water scarcity problem. I think we have our district magistrate Moin Puri also joined in. Good evening, sir. Sir, are you there? Okay. On that note, I would like Mr. Jilani ji to, first of all, I would request all to please turn on their videos because that is the request from the organizer. So, Jilani ji, please, I would request if you could do that. Yadav sir, I would request you to also turn on the video. Yes. Speaking about legal frameworks, Jilani ji, we would love to hear your take on what Afghanistan has really done in with regard to legal framework and how are they approaching this problem. Uh, Mr. Jilani, your mic is muted. I would request you to unmute your mic, please. Mr. Jilani, your mic is muted. Would request you to unmute your mic. Okay. I
Yes,
think
it's working now. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Uh, yes, I heard your question, and also Afghanistan from 2001 until now focused on the very good focus on how to manage water in Afghanistan, and it is very important because Afghanistan is located in a dry area. It is not has not has weight on the water on the sea like that. I say. For that, recently Afghan government took steps in the following areas related to conducting studies and further and better carrying out operation for waters management. Uh, 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 and we right now we have managed many waters, so many rivers in Afghanistan, and also we have very good policies and policies on this management, how to manage water. We manage right now Omu River, and we are working on that, and we have made a policy for that. We have a starting construction on Shawtu Dam, constructed, which one constructed by India, and also we are working on Kamal Khan Dam, which one will irrigated after a few months, and also we have draft plan preparation of policies and strategy for capacity building in water sector. It is already we are working on that, and it will be finished or done as soon as possible. And also, our government is working precision of water resource management policy, and it's working on that. The last one I will add. We have draft plan preparation of regulation for water resources table on boundary and water institutions.
Okay. Jelani ji, just a quick question. Have you seen the movie Toilet? Have you seen the movie Toilet? Being in India,
Not.
please do see. That's something interesting, I'm sure. Coming back to this, the policy framework, as I understand in Afghanistan, is it in the nascent stage? Because all these things are, I feel, at the very initial stage. What is the water scarcity realization in Afghanistan? Do they feel that it is a big problem or not?
As I mentioned, Afghanistan located in a dry area, and
Yes.
we have many river here. If we manage this river, if we manage this water, we will don't have a problem on this situation. But if we didn't manage our water, it will be very big challenge. For that we start how to manage our water, and in this 20 years ago we managed very good our Afghanistan water. We are working on around 111 small and big dam, and how we can construct and how we can manage our water.
Okay. Acha, now I want to talk to Rishi. Rishi, we have heard the river which is flowing in your district, and as you said that there are problems of what do you say, plenty versus scarcity. You talked about that only. So, what are the other challenges you are facing in the district with regard to water? And if I may, can you please share some success stories so that we can actually understand how the water challenge is being dealt at the smallest level? If there is any success story, we would love to hear from you.
Can I speak something about the legal framework that we have right here regarding groundwater?
Yes.
Realizing the scarcity scenario that we have in our state, with a population of about being a 5th largest country in the world if it gets independent. So, and dependent upon only 2 perennial rivers, Ganga and Yamuna. So, what we have in our state is a UP Groundwater Management and Regulation Act. This act came through an ordinance in 2019, and about July 2020 we had framed the regulations and the notifications and everything is done. Manipuri city and village block, development block, has been notified as a notified area, that is a water scarce region. So across the UP we have notified places and areas to be water scarce, and in those notified areas we are trying to incentivize people who are going for commercial utilization of water. Either they are using it for bulk purposes, or even if there is an household who wants a tube well connection or say drinking water connection for his own house, he needs to register with a local body, so that at least we could know what is our water demand. Because in order to preserve the water that we have, first we have to know where is this water going, how much demand is from the local area, how much demand is from the bulk consumer, how much demand is coming from the household and the industries. So
Yes.
we have started it. It's still in a very nascent stage, and that somehow we are improving upon it. We have just started it right now. And coming to a success story, the other notified area, the rural block, Barnahal, there is another rural block known as Barnahal, which also has been notified under this act. there we have managed to make people aware of the water management practices, and even the people there have become have gathered knowledge about what is gray water, what is black water in their local terms. This is gray, this is black, this you can't use, this you can use. And there we also have with the help of a revenue department and the Panchayati Raj, we are able to excavate an extinct water body which was only present in our revenue maps, and this was all because of a convergence of our departments. And more than the convergence of our department, we have to realize it that this is necessary. Somewhere in a very important post has to realize that among all the day-to-day work of the office, this also is an important point.
Yes.
The district magistrate of a district, or what we have is chief development officer who looks after the development works in our district. So if any person who is having that top seat decides that this is a priority area for me, then that scheme, that policy, everything can be brought to book, brought to people, and it can be implemented. The problem is after that person vacates that seat, it's the passion and the awareness and the community participation in the previous term of that people, of that person. If it was there, if community participation was there, if the awareness level was very good, then a system has been built, and whosoever is present in the district, that scheme will run automatically. But first, someone has to take up it to be a priority issue, set up a system, and let that system work. We should not be worried about, okay, if I will go, that nothing will happen, everything will fall back to normal. The point is, I would request my district magistrate, sir, Mahendra Bahadur, sir, IS of 2011 batch, to kindly share his own work, because it's all because of sir that the Manpuri and the Ishan River has been brought to this national and international summit. So I would request DM sir to kindly take it from here, sir.
सभी को नमस्कार मेरा।
नमस्ते सर।
बेसिकली जब मैं यहाँ ज्वाइन किया था तो इस नदी पर कुछ निर्माण ऐसे हैं जिनको तोड़ा जाना था, तो लोगों की डिमांड थी कि साहब पहले इसको तोड़िए। फिर मैंने पूरा इसके बारे में पढ़ा गजेटियर में इसमें उल्लेख है स्प्रिंग्स का, क्योंकि मैं ज्योग्राफी का स्टूडेंट रहा हूँ तो मुझे पता है स्प्रिंग्स क्या होती हैं। गजेटियर में स्पष्ट उल्लेख 1902 के गजेटियर में, इसमें नंबर ऑफ स्प्रिंग्स हैं इस रिवर में, बट ये पूरी नदी सूखी हुई थी। जो पानी जहाँ था वो शहर का गंदा पानी है, और शायद यहाँ हो सकता है यहाँ शहर गंदा पानी अंदर भी जा रहा हो अभी भी, क्योंकि कुछ स्प्रिंग्स इसमें शहर के अंदर ओपन है, कुछ बैरियर्स हैं जिस कारण पानी फ्री फ्लो नहीं हो पाता है। फिर हम लोगों ने पूरा सर्च किया, बैठक बुलाई, लोगों से बात की, बुजुर्गों से बात की, किसी ने कहा 80s में हम इसका पानी पीते थे, दाल में यूज करते थे, बट वर्तमान में पानी पूरा गंदा नाले का पानी। देन चर्चा होती रही, फिर इस नदी के वेरियस पॉइंट्स पे गए हम लोग कि कहाँ से इसमें पानी पहले आता रहा होगा, क्या क्या सोर्सेज रहे होंगे, क्योंकि उसमें गजेटियर में स्पष्ट उल्लेख है कि इसमें पूरे वर्ष कुछ पॉइंट से पानी रहता था। फिर हमने वो पॉइंट चेक किए, कुछ पॉइंट ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे शमशान घाट है, कुछ पॉइंट ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे जानवरों के पीने के लिए पानी यूज करते थे, लोग बताते हैं। फिर लकली मैं एक आर्मी के पर्सन से मिला जो 62 के युद्ध में आर्मी में शामिल हुआ था। ही टोल्ड मी कि साहब इसके आगे ढाकुला है, यहाँ पे हम लोग बचपन में नहाते थे और लगभग 15 से 20 फीट नीचे जाके नहाते थे आराम से। मैंने कहा वो कैसे? बोले साहब इसमें हमेशा पानी रहता था, राजा की जो गाय थी इसमें नहाने आती थी, इससे पानी पीने आती थी। उसके बाद हम लोग पूरी नदी पे पूरा अराउंड 60 किलोमीटर नदी इसको थ्रू हम लोग, मैं और मेरे पुराने SDM साहब दोनों लोग पूरा घूमे। फिर पानी के लिए DPRO साहब और पूरी टीम लगी। हमने देखा कि एक अंग्रेजों के टाइम के इरा का बनाया हुआ जो नहर में है, लोअर गंगा कैनाल में पॉइंट है, जहां से एक्सेस पानी डिस्चार्ज होता था, बट लोगों की इंक्रोचमेंट की वजह से, बाकी रीजन की वजह से उसको सबने बंद कर दिया था। उस पर सभी ने मिलकर काम किया, समाज के लोगों को जोड़ा, लोगों की आस्थाएं जुड़ी हुई थी इस नदी से, सभी को जोड़ने के बाद हमने देखा इसमें 17 चेक डैम्स बने हुए हैं। इसमें मैनपुरी से पहले जब नदी में पानी आता है इसमें 17 चेक डैम्स हैं। चेक डैम तो बनाए गए, बट पानी कहाँ से आएगा, कैसे नहीं आएगा, कैसे सुरक्षित रखेंगे, इस पर कोई काम नहीं हुआ। तो लकीली सभी ने मेहनत की, वो पॉइंट्स हमको मिला जहाँ से पानी उस एरा में आता रहा होगा इसमें, क्योंकि बारिश बहुत कम होती है यहाँ पे। पूरा एक बार पानी लेके आए तो सपोज दैट देयर आर टू चेक डैम्स, और वहां तक पानी इस पहले चेक डैम क्रॉस करके उसका लेवल पहले चेक डैम पे 1 फीट ऊपर चल रहा है और अगले चेक डैम को क्रॉस करके पानी आगे बढ़ रहा है। बट सडनली नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग व्हेन आई वेंट देयर, मैंने देखा कि सेकंड चेक डैम में पानी फ्लो बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा और पूरा पानी वहां खत्म हो चुका। पहले चेक डैम में पानी नीचे नहीं गिर रहा, यानी कि पानी कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा पानी है जो 50 किलोमीटर लंबा आ रहा था और वो पूरा एक्सेस पानी सबमर्ज हुआ सडनली, वो स्प्रिंग ओपन हुई। इसमें नंबर ऑफ स्प्रिंग्स मैंने ओपन खुद ऑब्जर्व किए, ये पॉइंट है जहाँ पे वो स्प्रिंग्स हैं। इससे फ्यूचर पे काम करने का इरादा है। पुनः पानी अभी आया था तो अभी आएगा और उम्मीद है इस बारिश सीजन में इसमें जो स्प्रिंग्स है वो अपने वास्तविक लेवल में आएंगी, क्योंकि अगर 2 घंटे ही बारिश अगर हो जाती है इसमें तो वो जो इच्छा है वो पूरी हो जाएगी। अगर हम काम करते रहेंगे, अभी पुनः शहर में गंदा पानी, पुनः शहर में गंदा पानी, जहाँ शुद्ध गंगा का पानी जो एक्सेस वाटर था वो हमने पूरा शहर तक लेके क्रॉस कराया था कि हमने इसी में बाकायदा फिशेज या कछुआ काफी कुछ इसमें देखने को मिला था हमें, क्योंकि शुद्ध जो गंगा का पानी था वो आ रहा था। बट फिर नहर में एक्सेस जो वाटर था वो बंद हो गया। कुछ दिन पानी रहा, हमने इसमें पाइप्स लगाए हैं कई पॉइंट्स पे कि ताकि पानी अगर एक चेक डैम धीरे करके खत्म होता रहे, पानी बना रहे, मेंटेन रहे कुछ ना कुछ। अगर पानी आना बंद भी होता है कम से कम 1 महीना 2 महीना, इस पे हम लोग काम करेंगे, अभी काम कर रहे हैं और आगे काम और करेंगे। तो आप जो सोचिए, जो भी कुछ ऐसा होता है, जैसे लोगों का नेगेटिव माइंडसेट था कि मकान तोड़िए, तो वो पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट पे कन्वर्ट किया मैंने कि पानी लाइए। पहली प्रायोरिटी हमारी पानी लाना हो गई। सेकंड प्रायोरिटी हमारी बिल्डिंग्स तोड़ना हो गई, क्योंकि बिल्डिंग्स तोड़ने पे कहीं यहाँ से रोके कहीं वहां से रोके, उस पर तो काम करना संभव नहीं था। बट हाँ, इससे पानी लाना संभव था, तो उसको हम ले गया। फिर हमने एक ट्रिब्यूटरीज की और खोजी जिसमें पानी पहले आता था, फिर उसको भी गंगा से जोड़ा, उसको अलग ब्रांच से जोड़ा, जहाँ पे एक्सेस पानी कभी एक्सेस में रहा तो वहां से पानी भी आया। फिर बारिश का पानी भी इकट्ठा हुआ, बारिश में जो जल वर्षा हुई वो पानी भी आया। बट जो स्प्रिंग्स कई बार इसमें ओपन हुई, उसमें मुझे जो मेरा पहला एम था होली में लाने का पानी, मुझे उम्मीद थी कि होली में आ जाएगा। बट पहली स्प्रिंग्स जल्दी ओपन हो गई, दूसरी स्प्रिंग्स होली से जस्ट 1 दिन पहले वो भी ओपन हो गई। पानी शहर में होली में नहीं आ पाया था, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर अभी हम लोग पानी अप्रैल में उसको लेके आए, अप्रैल मई पानी आया। पुनः अभी हम लोग उसको आगे चल के फिर लेके आएंगे। और अभी बीच में पानी आया था, अब फिर जब एक्सेस से पानी आता है नदी का, तो नहर गंगा का पानी अगर जब एक्सेस से पानी है, अगर उसको इसमें चेक डैम्स में ला सकें, उससे हमारा पूरा वाटर लेवल रेज हुआ था। कई ऐसे नल हैं जो 40 फीट की गहराई पे, जो आज से 20 साल पहले लोगों ने बंद कर दिए थे, उनमें मैंने खुद देखा है वहां तक 40 फीट तक पानी आ चुका था, जो पानी बंद हो चुका था। ऐसे शहर में एक हमारा पुराना ट्यूबवेल है नुवाइस ग्राउंड में, वहां पानी बिल्कुल बंद था, कभी आता ही नहीं था। बट जब नदी में पानी आया था तो उसमें पानी पूरा फ्लो में बहा, पुनः वो सूख चुका है, क्योंकि पानी का जो हम उसको यूज कर रहे हैं, जो पानी नीचे गया उसको पुनः यूज कर रहे हैं, तो पानी कहीं कहीं लेवल पे डाउन हो रहा है। तो वो बढ़ा था, उसको बाकायदा हमने मेजर किया था, बाकायदा उसको क्योंकि हमने विभाग से मेजरमेंट करवाया था, आने के पहले, स्प्रिंग ओपन होने के पहले, स्प्रिंग होने के बाद। और कई पॉइंट से पानी का जो टेस्ट था वो भी चेंज हुआ है, पानी मीठा हो गया। तो उम्मीद है कि हम इसको आने वाले साल 2 साल में पूरा फ्री फ्लो में आएगा। हमने बहुत काम किया लोगों से, शहर में पूरा शहर इस नदी की सफाई तो हुई थी, लेकिन शहर के एरिया की सफाई नहीं हो पाई थी, इसीलिए पूरा पानी गंदा पानी आगे बढ़ ही नहीं पा रहा था। फिर इसमें पोकलन मशीन की हेल्प से, लोगों की हेल्प से महीनों काम कराया हम लोगों ने, पटरी बनवाई, सब कुछ बनवाया, घाट बनवाए कई पॉइंट पे। ड्रीम ये था कि इसमें आरती भी हो, इसमें ये भी हो। और उम्मीद है कि आने वाले साल 2 साल 3 साल बाद जब पानी एक बार स्प्रिंग्स ओपन हो जाएंगी, तो कभी न कभी आज से साल 2 साल 3 साल बाद नदी पूरी फ्री फ्लो में दोबारा आएगी, और जो गंदगी यहाँ की है, जो गंदा पानी नालों का है, वो आगे बहना शुरू हो जाएगा।
थैंक यू सर। आपने यूपी जैसे एरिया में काम करके सक्सेस निकाला सर, इसको सल्यूट है। मैं जानता हूं ये काफी एक चुनौती भरा काम रहता है, यूपी जैसे स्टेट में एक चेंज लाना, पॉजिटिव एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना एंड वाटर कंजर्वेशन को आगे बढ़ावा देना इज अ बिग चैलेंज एंड आई कॉम्प्लीमेंट ऑन योर वर्क सर। एंड
नहीं, अभी मेहनत करनी बाकी है।
आई थिंक जी सर, बिल्कुल। सर मैं भी एक सक्सेस स्टोरी शेयर करना चाहूंगा रेलवे को लेके। एक्चुअली रेलवे एक जैसा मैंने कहा, एक बिग टैलेंट है। रेलवे में ये एक चीज रही है कि वाटर कंजर्वेशन को लेके बहुत ज्यादा काम कर ही नहीं गए, बट अभी इस लास्ट डेकेड में मैंने देखा एक बहुत बड़ा चेंज आ रहा है। कंजर्वेशन इज नाउ बीइंग सीन एज नॉट जस्ट अ सोशल ऑब्लिगेशन, but more as एज अ सेंट्रिक, सबका रोल है इसमें, ये कोई एक आदमी की, ये कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हर आदमी को प्रॉब्लम है। तो इसमें हमने मनरेगा में काफी कन्वर्जेंस में हमने काफी काम करा है। मनरेगा जैसी स्कीम जनरली आपने देखा होगा सर, उसमें करीब 60 से 70% फंड जो आता है और जो बुक होता है वो वाटर कंजर्वेशन की एक्टिविटीज में ही जा रहा है। और उसको चलते हमने क्या करा था सर, रेलवे ट्रैक के बगल में हमने गड्ढे खुदवा दिए थे, और जो उसकी जो मिट्टी थी वो हमने बैंक प्रोटेक्शन, क्योंकि रेलवे पटरी जो बनती है वो जनरली एक एलिवेशन पे बनती है जिससे इजीली ट्रेसपासेबल ना हो, क्योंकि सेफ्टी इशू होता है, तो हम लोग उसको एक अर्थ मतलब है एनवायरनमेंट के उठा के रखते हैं। तो जनरली ये बैंक रोड ओवर रेनफॉल वेदरिंग्स, तो हम लोग क्या करते थे, रेलवे बाउंड्री की ट्रेंच, रेलवे बाउंड्री के बगल में ट्रेंच खुदवाते थे, उसका मिट्टी उठा के हम लोग ट्रेंच का मिट्टी उठा के हम लोग बैंक पे लगाते थे, जिससे बैंक रिपेयर हो जाता था। बट एट द सेम टाइम वी यूज्ड टू गेट अ वाटर ट्रेंच, वो जो बन जाती थी, वो ट्रेंच से हमने पूरे रेलवे के करीब मतलब करीब 200-300 किलोमीटर का एक पायलट प्रोजेक्ट रहा है जिसमें हमने ट्रेंचेस खुदवाए, और वो ट्रेंच से वाटर कंजर्वेशन जो फॉल्स का जो कांसेप्ट है, ये रेलवे से बढ़िया तरीके से इम्प्लीमेंट, यहाँ पर मतलब ये एसेंस है उसी पॉलिसी का कि आपने वहीं पर पकड़ के पानी को हॉल करा, और उससे हमें बहुत सारे फायदे मिले। मतलब एक तो वाटर कंजर्वेशन की एक्टिविटी जो रेलवे में कभी भी इस लेवल पे प्रचार नहीं हो पाया था, वो फैला, और बहुत तेजी से इसमें बहुत बढ़ोतरी हुई। मतलब विद इन 3-4 मंथ्स हम लोग जहां 10 किलोमीटर का प्रोग्रेस होता वहां 200, 300 किलोमीटर के ट्रेंचेस खोदने लग गए। सेकेंडली, जो नियर बाय फार्मर्स थे, क्योंकि रेलवे लैंड के बगल में ही फार्म फील्ड्स होते हैं, तो वो लोग क्या करने लगे, उसी ट्रेंच में अपना सबमर्सिबल पंप डालने लगे जब पानी भरा होता था, और उसी से अपनी इरिगेशन भी करने लगे। तो नियर बाय फार्मर्स भी बहुत खुश हो गए हमसे, तो एक सिनर्जी बनी इससे, मतलब रेलवे को भी एक लाभ हुआ, फार्मर्स को भी लाभ हुआ, मतलब सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स उस एरिया के जो भी थे सबको लाभ हुआ। तो अब रेलवे ने एक सिनर्जाइज्ड वे में काफी फोर्स के साथ इस स्कीम को एक्सप्लॉइट करते हुए काफी तेजी से वाटर कंजर्वेशन में बढ़ने लगी है। बट इसमें सबसे बड़ा रोल मुझे सर ये लगा था कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा रोल था, क्योंकि डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट से हम लोगों की जब बात हुई थी तो उन लोगों ने हमें एक दिशा दी, फंड दिया, हेल्प करी, सिनर्जाइज करा, एंड उससे हम दोनों डिपार्टमेंट्स में एक बड़ी तेजी से प्रोग्रेस आने लगी इस आइटम पे। तो इसको चलते हुए सर मैं अभी हम दोनों पैनलिस्ट आई थिंक कनेक्टेड हैं, but addressing the challenges and legal framework, we have raised some important issues, and I think we can agree to that this is a problem not of a state but of everybody. And in that regard, I would request Nisha if you can join us and given the closing comments for that.
Thank you.
निशा,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट मैनपुरी श्री महेंद्र बहादुर सिंह जी। बहुत अच्छा लगा आपके उम्दा विचार सुन के रिगार्डिंग द वर्क विच यू आर डूइंग एट द ग्रासरूट लेवल इन द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ मैनपुरी। Thank you. On behalf of ILETS Technomedia and Ministry of Jal Shakti, we thank all the eminent speakers here. I am KC Mishra, Bureau Head Special Projects. We did talk about a lot of issues throughout this long day today. In the morning today, there were international guests giving their international perspective. जल एक ऐसी चीज है, मतलब एक अजीब सा पैराडॉक्स है. The more we are moving towards development, the more we are also face the crisis of water. So this is a very strange paradox between development and water availability. I remember I come from the state of Uttarakhand. Once upon a time, the rivers were flush with waters. The glaciers were full. The lakes were there. But in the past 25 years, I have seen with my own eyes. District Magistrate Mehenji will testify कि पहले पोखर होते थे, तालाब होते थे, उनका पानी या तो कम हो गया है या सूख गए हैं, नदियां में पानी कम हो गया है, ग्लेशियर पीछे को जा रहे हैं. तो मतलब if we do not do any intervention at this stage, आज से 20 साल बाद, 30 साल बाद शायद वो स्थिति आ जाएगी जहां पर जल के सारे स्रोत सूख चुके होंगे, and that would be really a crisis situation. So it was a very pertinent topic in today's context. I sincerely thank District Magistrate Mr. Mahendra Bahadur Singh. Mr. Rishi Raj, a young officer from Manpuri, he also put in his thoughts, particularly from the context of legal framework. How do we create a legal architecture to put the water innovation ecosystem into one place? And thank you, Mr. Pratham Agrawal, also divisional engineer from Solapur, Maharashtra, Government of Railways. आपने बहुत बेहतरीन आपने जो विचार रखे कि रेलवे ट्रैक के बगल में किस तरह से आपने पानी का जल संग्रहण किया. This is one grassroots intervention, a very live example of grassroots intervention. So before we come to the conclusion
can you hear
of
me?
this day-long, yes, Nisha, we can hear you.
Yes.
So before
yes, Nisha, we
the
can.
conclusion of the day-long deliberation, I will pass on the
Because
baton
of
to
some
my
technical
colleague,
issue, I
Arpit
wasn't
Gupta.
able to connect actually. There was a power cut at my
No problem,
place
Nisha, we are
just
able to
now.
hear you.
So I could not connect. So,
before
my other
we
colleagues
conclude,
are also
I pass
trying to
on
join.
a closing comment to Mr. Arpit Gupta, my bureau head heading the states of Rajasthan, UP and Chhattisgarh, for the concluding remarks, and then we move on to this presentation of speaker
So
certificates. To the
we will be
esteemed
just
panelists.
concluding this
Over to you, Mr.
session,
Gupta.
and this was an amazing, and we had a lot of good discussion here. Some good studies we have heard some good studies also from Manpuri and from Afghanistan. So now I would request my colleague Deepak to present the certificates, please. Deepak, can you hear me, Deepak?
So this certificate of appreciation, we are delighted to present to Mr. Mahendra Bahadur Singh, District Magistrate, Manpuri, Uttar Pradesh. Thank you, Mr. Mahendra Bahadur, for taking out time and coming here and sharing your grassroots level interventions and grassroots level experience of changing the lives of people in the state of UP. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mahendra Bahadur Singh, for joining us and sharing your valuable thoughts at this exclusive forum on the discussion of water and sanitation innovations. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. And this certificate of appreciation goes to Mr. Pratham Agrawal, Divisional Engineer, Solapur, Ministry of Railways, for sharing his valuable inputs and expertise today at the ILET's second National Water and Sanitation Innovation Summit. Thank you, Mr. Pratham. And we should also present a certificate of appreciation to Mr. Rishi Raj, who is the Joint Magistrate of Manpuri District in Government of Uttar Pradesh. He represented the Manpuri District in the beginning, but later we are honored that Honorable District Magistrate and Collector Mr. Mahendra Bahadur Singh has also joined us and raised the occasion. This certificate goes to Mr. Abdul Farhad Zilani. He is the Consular Economic Embassy of Afghanistan in New Delhi. Thank you for joining, Mr. Jilani. And Mr. Rajiv Yadav, he is the chairman of Brahmaputra Board. He also joined and shared his valuable inputs and expertise. With this, with the kind permission of all the panelists and the moderator, I would like to announce the closure of this session. And soon we'll be starting the award ceremony. Over to you, KCG.
Thank you so much, Arpit. Last video, a very inspirational video by the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Namami Gange. This video inspires all of us, every citizen of this country, right from his child to a senior citizen, about his social responsibility towards keeping our Ganga Swachh, Aviral and Aviral. So I would request my backend team to please play the video. With this note, I thank you, Mr. Mahendra Bahadur Singh and Mr. Pratham Agrawal once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
भगवती तव तीरे नीरमात्रशनोऽहम् भगवती तव तीरे नीरमात्रशनोऽहम् विगतविषयतृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि विगतविषयतृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि सकलकलुषभङ्गे स्वर्गसोपानसङ्गे सकलकलुषभङ्गे स्वर्ग सोपान संगे तरल तर तरंगे देवी गंगे प्रसीद 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 नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे स्वर्ग की परछाइयाँ दिखती तेरे आंचल तले माँ तेरी हर बूंद में बहती हुई ममता मिले तू हथेली तन पे फेरे मन को भी निर्मल करे जिस तरह को तू छुए जीवन से उसको सींच दे लेके आया हर कोई बस पाप तुझको सौंपने फिर भी तू बहती चले सबको लगा करके गले स्वाद अमृत का तुझे ही चूम कर जाना प्रसीद 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 नमामि गंगे 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 पानी जो तेरा खारा तेरे आंसू की धारा कैसे मैं देखूं संतान हो